Hello Capricorn and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements looking at your connection between you and the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. We'll be pulling for all three sides of the connection, so we'll look at your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we'll be looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section will be looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self and attract the love that you deserve and desire. As always, please remember that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. On that note, and especially if you're a cross watcher, just know this whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that is totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and leave what doesn't. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, let's jump in. We're going to start, Capricorn, with looking at your side of this connection. So we're going to look at your side, their side, and the truth in between the connection with oracle cards, and then we'll dive deeper into the story with tarot as we progress. But let's start here with your side. This connection toward the person you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. Capricorn's energy toward the person they are dealing with. You have drama, money versus love, and mirroring. Okay. This connection is very stressful for you in a lot of ways. And I think that the main way for you is that it feels like this person really does check a lot of your boxes, a lot of the boxes that you've held for like the kind of relationship that you want. Maybe, you're attracted to them, you have fun with them, things feel really good when things are good. And I think that it makes it really complicated for you whenever you're experiencing so many issues, because you're like, there's just so many things about this connection that are so good that if, these things would change, or if they would stop doing these things, then like we would be so happy and things would be so good. And I think that you see so much potential in the connection because there are so many things present that I feel makes you very drawn to this person. This mirroring card is where, you start to kind of see I feel like this connection brings or triggers a lot of insecurity and wounding for you. So when things are good, they're really good, but when things are bad, it's very painful, or there's a lot of things that are feeling very difficult to handle in this connection. And I think that, again, that makes things really complicated for you because on one hand, you're like, oh my gosh, it's so good and there's so much potential. But on the other, you're like, I don't know how much of this I can take because, things are so difficult and complicated here. So it's like this connection does bring a lot of good to your life, but yeah, I definitely feel like this person stresses you out, brings a lot of chaos to your life here. This person's energy toward you, let's see what we've got here. Which, there are highs and lows in every relationship. That's normal and that's natural. Ooh, optimism, growth. And I want one more here. I pulled 3 for the other side. So for some reason, I feel like pulling 3 here. And then redacted. Okay. This person shares the same sentiment that you do about this connection when it comes to really seeing this potential here. And I feel like there is, this desire for things to grow, for things to expand and to get to a certain place. However, this redacted card makes it feel or seem almost as if I feel like this person is really hard to read or to understand. I feel like their behavior is like, either they're, you know, they're here, they're present, they're excited to be in this connection, to work on it, or it's like the complete opposite. There's this withdrawal, almost this like coldness. And I feel like it's very wishy-washy. And for you, I feel like you're struggling a lot because there are times where you feel like this person does really care about you in the connection, and then there are times where you feel like they just absolutely do not. And that back and forth, like wishy-washy energy is keeping it. I feel like that's where the stressfulness comes from, because you're like, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to feel. I don't know how you feel. And I think that for anybody in your shoes, that would be really complicated. I do feel like the feelings are mutual, but the consistency is not here. Interesting. Okay. Let's look at the truth of you, between you and this person. Truth of the connection between you and this person here, Capricorn. Surrender with romance, and then there's unfinished business. Okay, so the thing about this connection that I feel like makes it, extremely complicated, and I said this, but I'm going to elaborate on it. I talked about how when things are good, they're good, and when things are bad, it's like really painful. I feel like this, the way that this connection feels when things are really good is like unlike any other for you. Maybe you've never really experienced anything like this before, or it feels so good and so exciting and so hopeful that whenever things are bad, whenever this person is doing that like wishy-washy withdrawal thing and you're starting to feel you're struggling a lot and things are really complicated for you, I feel like you almost kind of see this as like worth it. And then I also feel the thing is that this person seems to come back like really strong. So it's like there's always an apology or they're always doing, like they're bringing the flowers or like doing some of the like more surface level things. I feel like they're doing really well. But where you're really lacking in this connection, and I think where there's a need to look at things a little bit deeper, is the stuff that, like, I don't want to say that matters, because I think the little things, surface level things do matter, but the emotional commitment and the consistency that you deserve, and the, being there and showing up for you even when things are difficult or when it's inconvenient. Like, I feel like that's what it is that you're missing a lot from this person. It's like, yeah. It's like it's good and it's fun and it's exciting, and then when things get challenging or hard, I do feel like this person does withdraw, and that's where you start to, or maybe even when things aren't hard, I don't know, it could be very out of the blue, but I definitely feel that you start to feel a little bit maybe like you're drowning because you're putting up with, your head's kind of spinning here. You're putting up with so much. All right, overall theme of this connection between you and this person. I want to get the vibe here. I feel like that's what this does. This helps kind of add to what the core message is. Someone is unhappy. And I feel like that's you, Capricorn. And not all the time, right? You don't love me. And this is what I said, is there are times where you feel good, and there are times where you literally feel like this person just does not care, and that's going to be painful for anybody, right? Like, you do deserve consistency, you deserve reciprocated effort and commitment, and I just feel like when it comes to this relationship, you're lacking. And that's the thing, on paper, right? So many boxes are checked, this connection looks so good, and there are things about it that do, like I said, still feel good, but then I don't know, you're just dealing with a lot of because then you have someone has unmet needs on the bottom and then unresolved issues. It just feels like it's kind of this merry-go-round here that I feel like you're on with them. I don't know. Let's dive into this a little bit more. Capricorn side of this connection, mirroring with drama. The Chariot in reverse. Oh, okay. So you and this person, you'll be chugging along, things will be going well, and then just out of nowhere, it's like hitting this brick wall, just this dead end. And I feel like you're just like, what the heck happened? Like, what's going on? Where did this come from? Yeah, because the Chariot in reverse, it's something that feels very sudden. It feels very unexpected too. But then, like, I do feel like, especially if you're in some sort of a cycle with this person, maybe it's like, so the unpredictability has become predictable almost because maybe you've been in the cycle for a while. You have this Two of Swords here. I feel like you're really struggling with not really knowing what to do because there is such an intense draw that you have toward this person and toward this connection. Like, the feelings are so strong. The care is so strong. And I feel like you do really want this to work. Like, there is a very genuine desire here, but it just feels like you're doing everything that you can, and it starts to feel like it's not enough because then eventually, I feel like I could be speaking to two different collectives. I feel like I could be speaking to a collective where this is something that consistently happens, in this connection, or I'm speaking to a collective where this is maybe like a one-time thing and you're trying to make sense of it. But whoever you are and whatever you're dealing with, I feel like in general, you're feeling very stuck and not knowing what to do because yeah, it's like, but it's so good when it's good. It's hard to just let that go or give up on that. Capricorn side of this connection. The Lovers in reverse. It's like, you know, this isn't what you deserve. I feel like you're aware of that. But I do feel like, and again, and this goes back to what I said at the very beginning, it's like, if this could just be consistent, it would be what I deserve. If this could just, if this person could just stop doing the wishy-washy thing, stop doing the, the hot-cold thing, it would be so good. It would feel good all of the time, right? And I think that that's where, again, you're really struggling right now. And I feel like I've said that a lot, but it makes a lot of sense why you would feel that way and why it's coming through so strongly. The Judgment here on the bottom, the Judgment to me is always this indication that there's more to the story than what's on the surface. And there usually is, in all situations, but especially in relationships, there's always a lot more going on below the surface. And I think that, when we're dealing with mirroring, because mirroring in connections, is usually a sign that there is a purpose to the connection. The connection is trying to push us into healing, into growth, into seeing certain things about ourselves. And I think that there are a lot of wounds that get very, very triggered, like maybe past wounds too, like almost as if you're used to the hot, cold energy, or you're used to inconsistent love or something like that. So it becomes it's almost like it's something that you're very, very used to here. You're used to not having what it is that you deserve in relationships. So this is maybe a relationship where you do see so much potential, and if things were to change, things would be good. But we have to be careful with that, right? We don't want to put all of our eggs in the basket of potential, because the second that we do that, we are now in that moment investing in somebody that doesn't exist, right? People show us who they are and where they're at. And when we start to invest in potential, we're investing in not who that person actually is, but who they could be. And everybody has potential, but not everybody is doing the work to reach that potential. But let's see what's going on with this person. They're very much a closed book. This person's very closed off. This person's energy toward you here. Ooh. Temperance with the King of Cups in reverse. Jeez, the Three of Wands in reverse. So that's water sign energy. Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. But then you also have the Queen of Wands on the bottom, which is fire side. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. So you could be dealing with one of those. That could be in your chart. Neither could be true. Just like to call it out as I see it. Okay. I want to clarify this Temperance, because this Temperance is very confusing for me. Oh, I said the Judgment is the truth going on below the surface. Let me get one more. The Knight, okay. That's why I said, okay, because the Temperance is, it's almost like this person, like they come off as very level-headed, like well-tempered. They seem as somebody who really, has it together. But that's not actually the truth underneath the surface. I feel like this person is actually, especially the King of Cups in reverse, is actually very emotional. But they have literally no idea how to handle their emotions. And so a lot of the decisions that they make are very emotionally charged decisions. And the thing about this connection, and it's very clear with the optimism side of things here, I do feel like this person has genuine feelings for you. I feel like they care about you, and I feel like they have love for you to the extent of their capacity. Because this energy feels very stunted emotionally, and it's not necessarily that this person is just completely emotionally inept. I don't know, but I definitely feel that their behavior is not coming from a very conscious place. So what's happening, because the mirroring is an indication that that's happening on both sides, right? So what's happening here is this person sees this potential and this connection just as much, right? And then as things start to progress and as things start to get deeper, and when things start to get deeper in relationships, that's where we have to start, opening up and being vulnerable and, showing certain parts of ourselves. That's not something this person likes to do. They're very emotionally closed off. So when they start feeling this pull toward, emotional closeness and intimacy beyond the physical, they literally are like, absolutely not, I don't want to deal with this. This feels uncomfortable. Bye. And that's when they start to push you away. That right there is, with the Knight of Wands in reverse, this is very much this energy of self-sabotage, where it's almost like this person craves that closeness and that intimacy and that depth. I feel like they want to be seen, they want to be loved for who they are, but they don't let anybody get close enough to them to actually be able to do that. And I feel like you come around, you're like trying to knock down this wall and you're trying to get, closer to who they are. And maybe there's even part of you who sees who they really are and loves and cares about them anyway. But it's almost like there's this part of this person that struggles to believe deep down that they are lovable for who they really are. So they keep everybody in their life at a distance. They keep not just you, but friends and family members. And I feel like this is very much a consistent theme for them in relationships. And that's why I said that when that they love and care about you or have love for you to the extent of their capacity. Everybody has a capacity to give and receive love. And the capacity to which we have to give and receive love is going to be directly correlated to A, the amount that we've learned to love and accept ourselves, including our shadow, and B, the amount of work that we've done on ourselves to be able to face the insecurities and the traumas and the triggers that come up in any relationship. And when a relationship pushes us into further depth, it's usually a good thing because there's so much beauty in that. There's so much beauty in intimacy. There's beauty in closeness. But when you're dealing with somebody that sees intimacy and closeness as a threat, maybe because they've been through certain things in their life or every time that they've been in that place, they've ended up hurt, then no matter what you do, they're not going to feel safe enough to open up. And that is work that they have to do on themselves individually. So the question that you really have to ask yourself is, does this align with what it is that I truly deserve? Because when we're basing what we want based on who somebody could be, we're ignoring what the experience that we're having now based on who somebody is and where they're at, right? And again, people show us who they are, they show us what they're capable of, and we might see their potential, but we have to learn to accept people where they're at. Now, that doesn't mean we tolerate it, that doesn't mean that we allow it, but when we see people for who they are, we can then make the decisions that serve us. We can make the decisions that align with our highest good and open us up to the most amount of love that we do, deserve and desire. So yeah, I do feel like this person has feelings for you, but there is very much a difference between how somebody feels about you and how somebody is capable of showing up for those feelings, right? Like, you don't just deserve to be loved, to be, just to have someone who, finds you attracted or is infatuated with you. You deserve somebody who is capable of showing up for that, who is capable of the commitment, who is capable of consistency, who is capable of dealing with those uncomfortable feelings that come up and not running from them or from you when that's the case, because that isn't fair to you, right? So yeah, I feel like Spirit's asking you to take a deeper dive into the dynamic of what's going on here, because I do feel that this dynamic is something that, again, maybe you're very used to inconsistent love, very used to the wishy-washiness, but that over time is going to start to make you feel like you're not good enough, right? Because no matter how hard you love or how much you show up, if you're dealing with somebody who doesn't have the emotional capacity to give and receive healthy love, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with where they're at on their journey and the extent of healing and growth that they have put the work into. And that's why we cannot take the way that other people treat us personally. It can feel very personal, right? It's a personal relationship, but people don't treat us how they value us. They treat us how they value themselves. People don't show up based on how they value us. People show up based on their own capacity. And we have to take what we can get, take that at face value and say, is this in alignment with what I deserve, or what can I do to make sure that I'm protecting myself from somebody who isn't capable of being what it is that I deserve? But let's dive into this more, because I feel like there's more to this. There's always, especially with the mirroring card, there's always a deeper purpose for these types of connections and what this is trying to draw out. So with that, I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to look at the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in alignment with your higher self. You have surrender and romance here. Any information for that extended is going to be in the description box or caption below. Thank you guys so much, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. Bye, Capricorn.